that you are supposed to represent, that the people that you are supposed to serve, it will look so much of a high insubordination for an MD of Ikeja Electric to call my friend who happened to be the head of communication and say, "Oga, I don't have your time," and he will still want to resume in that office tomorrow. You know, that is the same way they are taking us. There is no problem. When we get to that bridge, we will cross it. 4 years ago, Electricity Consumer Protection Forum was started with sole aim of advocating for the right of all electricity consumers and protect them from the underhand dealings and exploitative business practice of the distribution company, which could name DISCOs. Going back memory lane, when the privatization ideal of the sector was mooted in 2005, with attendant enabling law called Electric Power Sector Reform Act 2005, with a stopgap company named Power Holding Company of Nigeria, it was created with belief that by 2007, the seamless process of transmuting to privatized organization will be done. But being our Nigeria, it was not done until October 30th, 2013, when the transmission was concluded and eventual takeover in November 3rd, 2014 by 11 DISCOs, 6 GENCOs, and 1 transmission company. That only one transmission company being the only one that was not privatized. To say that the expectation of the larger consumer was high and expectedly so will be an understatement. Really, this was born not only out of the success and progressive performance, relief, and pocket-friendly privatizations of the communication sector brought to death, unlike the then government-owned NITEL, which was exclusively the doings of the rich and the middle class of Nigerian populace, but the perennial problems being experienced in the hands of the equally controlled government company called Nigerian Electricity Power Authority, NEPA, which we normally and jocularly call never expect power always. This problem ranged from inadequate and epileptic power supply, bills not commensurate to service provided, which culminate in increases among served monthly as estimated bill, non-provisions of meters, prepaid or analog, non-provisions of transformers and other materials needed to supply power effectively into each and every community. All these were being provided by the consumers, even though it ought not to be. Hence, with privatization, we can imagine the relief and El Dorado expected by the larger consumer service. Alas, the privatization brought not so much hope that, if ever, brought any at all. It is a case of going from fry pan to fire, as the experience under the distribution company is imaginarily traumatized. The perennial problems was never abated, resolved, or lightened, but become worse. It is like a biblical story in which the successor son of a king said, "My father beat you with rod and cane, but I will chastise you with scorpion." And right now, I can say that with sharp practices of many DISCOs around, their unbridled appetite to exploit, and lack of customer care's attitude, brazen disregard of extant law, today's DISCOs are satiate the consumers with both snake and scorpion put together. We may be forced to ask ourselves, in all this, where is the position of extant laws, since this privatization was a creation of law and guided by the law with regulatory body? In paragraph C of the section 5, it says that consumer has 10 days between which they can pay serve bill and receive disconnection notice. The law says that when you are giving your bill, you have 10 solid days, working days to pay. But I have seen people have called, members have complained that if they give you bill today, by tomorrow they are coming with their ladder and they will give you 24 hours lights just to know that you are about to miss something. I can make bold to say that all the above highlighted guiding principles and extant laws have been flagrantly flouted, violated, and disobeyed with impunity and threat by all DISCOs, as reports from our members cut across the nation attested to it. Aspect of it were not only cumbersome but tiring and frustrating for the consumers. A consumer need to write the affected discourse, wait for 15 days before petition the NERC for advice. If not satisfied with resolution, appeal to NERC headquarters in Abuja. On their own side, if there is any infraction between the discourse and the consumer, if a consumer bypass meter, if a consumer have to do what we call illegal connection, this is what happens. The disco can write with stroke of pen and later sanction any consumers at will without opportunity to defend themselves, thereby making effect to the law maximums of Nemo Judes in Causa Sua. Interpret to me, the discos are the accusers, the prosecutors, and the judge. Many consumers have suffered under this injustice amounts of the discos without respite from the regulatory body called Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission. What we witness is this. If you have all these infractions against the discos, the law says you have opportunity of being billed 300% over and above what you get last month before you committed that offense. And they will write it immediately and give it to you. If you do it pay, they go to your wire and remove it. That is the law. That is the regulatory body directive for resolution. But when it comes to the consumer, you have to write to the disco. Wait for 15 days. After 15 days, they do not answer you. And the disco also perfect these things. They don't answer. They won't answer you. You won't receive anything. After 15 days, you move to forum. The forum too, they are like maybe Ologo and Eku. They become friends. They will not hear anything from them. And now, how many consumers will now go to Abuja? I've handled cases for my clients in which they have to sponsor me to Abuja 2 times to a Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission. That is an organization, an empty customer. How many of you that are receiving 20,000 naira in your own room? You know, the money you pay on electricity is far higher than the rent that you are paying. This body was for most of the time in the past inactive. I'm talking about Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission. They are named dog. They are toothless bulldog. I wish the press will say it the way I just say it. Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, they are named dog. They are toothless bulldog. This body was for most of the time in the past inactive towards the plight of consumers. To many of us who know the objectives and modus operandi, they are at best a toothless bulldog or an intellectual part of the disco, and their action and inaction speak volumes of it. Until recent time, when we begin interaction, we see them more as man Fridays of the discos. Hence, we consider it a waste of time relating our problem to them, because to many consumers, it is like reporting devil to Satan. These inactive natures of the regulatory body led to consumers' actions in protest, rally, and public disorder expressed against discos, and sometimes disruptions of their services if need arises to stem the disco's nefarious activities noted. You see, there is a philosopher that said, he who makes peaceful existence impossible will make violent result inevitable. If the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission had been up and doing, playing their role as an arbiter between the consumers and the power chain value chains of the power sector, there is no much of us going to the doorstep of the discos and beginning to say we no go green, because everybody will be satisfied. But the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, until recent time, I think they know the position they took concerning the situation and the relationship between the two of us. So therefore, we don't have any other choice than to hit the streets. And I pity Ikeja Electric because there are more hits in our protest. Many times I have personally blocked their doorstep. And the DPO of Alausa came and I told him, Oga, can you leave the road, or we consider you as part of the, we declare you as enemy combatant. And that was it. So it's not supposed to be. But that is the situation we find ourselves. Because when you are frustrated, it's either you vent your frustration on yourself, or you look for the person that makes you frustrated and force it on them. That has been the situation of things. All our efforts, both as individual members and group, have to see that these aforementioned anomalies are corrected through futile, including submissions of position paper at any forum organized by the Ministries of Power. Of recent was the Power Sector Recovery Program in conjunction with Nigerian Labour Congress and allies in the struggle for egalitarian societies and rights of consumers in the sector. In view of the above perceived perennial problems still unabated, and with distance and gap in communication, we decide to put this summit together to bring all value chains in power sector together face to face with genuine consumers as to peruse the gain, the prospect and problems of these sectors after privatization, which is why we target 5 years after privatization. What next? We desire to know what plans are the ministries of power. Unfortunately, they are not here because they are the ones that employ us. We didn't employ them. What plan are the value chains in the power sector, namely the GENCO, the DISCOs, and the transmission company? Thank God the GENCOs and the DISCOs are here. In fact, those are the ones that we need very much. They are very close to us. The DISCO is supposed to be our close ally, but unfortunately, maybe we would like to speak today. Yeah. We desire to hear from the stakeholder what next. Since we have seen no significant improvement from where we are coming from to where we are now, it is imperative, if not important, to know where we are going. But I believe that they will tell us where we are going. How long again will it take the issue of estimated billing to become a thing of the past? Or it has also become another chloroquine bitter pill that we will perpetually swallow? How long will consumers bear the cost of providing transformers, wires, and cable for a private profit-oriented organization to serve them, when the cost of such to be provided are already infused into the monthly tariff being charged? Many of you don't know that the service charge, which they call the transformer and this thing, is already in that tariff. They call it cost reflective. Although I know Barrister Dukan will tell us that that money is not enough. In fact, they bought for a light at 80 naira and they are selling to us magnanimously at 23 naira. They are making loss. They are not making profit. How long are we going to watch regulatory body behaving like an nursery to the plight of the consumers in the hand of the DISCO? Unfortunately, the man is not here to tell us anything. Too bad. Do we actually need a review of the privatization process that brought up these players? Or we just need to improve on the mode of operation? Or we are perpetually doomed with no end in sight as to when Nigerians will enjoy uninterrupted power supply? Finally, we make bold to say we are ready to help you to serve us better. We are also ready to say enough is enough, where oppression becomes the norm and order of the day, without respite from those that are supposed to care. Listen to what Nelson Mandela said before I round up. To be free is not to cut off your chains alone, but to live in a way that enhances the freedom of others. That is the reason why I'm standing before you. That is the reason why I formed this group and I call all of you, let us be on the same group. If it is for me, DISCO cannot disconnect me illegally. They cannot continuously giving me the same bill over and over again. And they call it estimated bill. They know me very well. I will fight it with the last blood in my vein. But if I have to say because I am a free man and I neglect the freedom of others, yet I am the most slave that you have ever seen. God bless you.
Talking about uninterrupted power supply, this is 2018, and I put my hand on my heart. God, Nigeria cannot have uninterrupted power supply in the next 5 years. It is not possible to start thinking. It is not possible. Why is it not possible? Your government for 62 years have neglected to do what do they do? Your population is growing. You have to be building more the transmission grid and your distribution network. You have to build it at the same time. You cannot build a power infrastructure in 1 year. Forget it. Even if the money is there and you start today. So if we start today, in the next 5 years, you cannot have 24-hour electricity everywhere. Some people will have. Already now, somewhere around Allen Avenue, that area, some people already have minimum of 16 hours. While some people still have 3 or 4 or 6 hours. But 24 hours for everybody, you cannot have it in the next 5 years. The reason is that we have not prepared for it. We have not done enough. I'm also part of the failure. We have not done enough. So we are 180 million. What today? Average. And when we talk about generation, before my sister comes, she is a gentle person. When we talk about generation, I'm talking about what can go into Shola Ajulo's house. I'm talking about what Shirogubanjo can see in his house in Ogba here. I'm talking about actual. I'm not talking about potential. Every newborn baby has the potential to get a first class. When you have a new baby today, to give that baby the right food, you do everything right, take him to the good school and everything, he can have a first class. That is what is called potential, ability, capacity, potential. But when you talk about actual, you look at the person's result after graduation. So somebody who made 2-1, you can say, point, come by local, always first class. In Abeokuta, we say, reality is that the person made 2-1. You can't say, it's a first class material, forget it. We made 2-1. So what do we generate? Highest that we have generated in Nigeria that are going to your home, 5,222 megawatts. And that lasted for less than 48 hours. That's number one. Average that we do today, average, we are just hovering around 4,000 megawatts. You cannot blame the generator because they can do far, far more than that. As of today, they can push out 7,000 if all other things are there. All other things are not there. Out of about 28 power plants in Nigeria, 3 of them use water to generate electricity. Kanji, Shiro, and Jeba. Those are the hydroelectric power plants. They are all in Niger State. The remaining 25, they are what is called thermal stations. They need gas to generate electricity. To turn their turbine, they need gas. When there is no gas, there is no power. When there is less gas, there is less power. I'll give a thermal station here in Ikorodu. It has a very big potential, big capacity. But in reality, what Egbin turns out is far, far less than what it can do because there is not enough gas. And gas is only one of the problems. Another problem is money. Even disco that I represent is a problem. Transmission is a problem. Government is a problem. Customers are also big problems. All these things come together to tell you whether you can have life or not. So, evaluation of electricity, and I'll give Nigeria is a big country, 180 million people. South Africa, a much smaller country than Nigeria. Population of South Africa, 57.3 million people. Remember, Nigeria at 180 million, we are generating 5,000. I'm saying that if we are doing a wrong thing, even when you change the people doing it, that thing will continue. And I'll give you an example. 7 years ago was Mr. Fashola, the Minister of Power. So today, you now have 24-hour light, Abi. Has that light changed? So should you blame Mr. Fashola for that? We should not. It's not about the person of Fashola or Batinaji or all those previous ones. It is the bad system that we run. That's the truth. You may not like it, that's the truth. So the value chain, we have generation companies. Generation companies are the producers of electricity. Those are the power plants I mentioned. They are the ones that generate. If they don't produce, we cannot transport it and we cannot distribute it. We have the transmission company, that's owned by the government. That's one. Generation company, seed company, so many power plants. Then transmission company, they are the ones that wield the power. They are like trailer that carry load. They take that power from where it is produced to the disco that will distribute it. Then we have the distribution company. We are the one you know. We are the one you abuse. Because we are the one that come and give you bill, take your money, carry your wire. Let me say something about wire. One of worst thing about Nigeria is that it is only in Nigeria that they will disconnect you and take away the cable. What I pray is that the thing will start on time. If they ask people to pay to the bank, get meter. I will just apologize to you. No explanation anybody can give you a meter. It's an embarrassment to all. Because if you have meters, you will not be fighting over estimated billing. If you have meters, we will have done what we did. We will have done what we did in 2015. There's an estate here in 2015, Ikeja Disco meter one, cannot bypass go meter one. That would have been a good story for us to sell if all of you have meters. But please recognize the fact that even with meters, some people just go on and bypass meter. And I don't go where it won't be own channel. But I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying, let us be patient. Meters will come. In conclusion, I think it is important for us to know that the issue of electricity is a partnership issue. You have a role to play, we have roles to play. Let us stop naming, blaming, passing the boss, blaming somebody, fighting this.
In Nigeria, we currently have about 27 power stations. 3 of them are hydros, the rest are using gas. We are hoping for more renewable energy generators. They've been given licenses, so as soon as they come on stream, you will know about them. And this group of generators have, by their machine capacity, they can give Nigerians about 13,260 megawatts as of today, by the machine capacity. Now, what is available that they are ready to give to Nigerians due to a lot of constraints like gas, network issues, and all the rest is 7,500. Sometimes we even get up to 8,000. But we are not able to get it to you because there are 2 constraints. We have so many agencies that are in the power sector. We have Ministry of Power, we have NERC, we have Transmission, we have BP, the Bureau of Public Enterprises, we have the National Assembly. They made the enabling law that was passed in 2005, the Extra Act, that is like the Bible of the power sector. So we have so many agencies. We have NBET. NBET is the person that buys the power from the Gencos and gives to the discos, and the discos now. But then there is a transporter in between, and we call that person transmission. The reason why you are asking that we have about 7,500 and sometimes about 8,000 megawatts that we can't get to you is because there has not been investment on the transmission and distribution network. Now, if it were possible to put power in a bottle, we would have bottled it because we're losing a lot of money. We have the capacity, our machine can generate 13,000, but the system cannot take it. Because in spite of all the political promises for many years, the transmission system that is still under government, as we speak, cannot take more than 5,000. In fact, if it takes 5,000, it will start dancing Atilogo dance, if you know how Atilogo dance is. Yes. That is one of the issues. And then, the ones they are able to give to the distribution, most of their feeders, either their feeders and so many lines are not maintained. And the reason is you are not paying. So I think I'm glad to start paying. They will pay me and networks can, because those are not effective. Payments are not also being made on. Everybody is behaving as a people. You take power, you don't pay for it. Nobody questions you why you sell it and use it as you like. If they pay, they pay. If they don't pay, nobody is questioning. In fact, I'm not happy that NERC, the regulator, is not here. Because majority of this rigmarole we are going through is caused by the regulator. And as Nigerian citizens, I think you need to demand value and service from we the operators But first and foremost, ask the regulator if he's doing his work, because the regulator is the class monitor. When we were in primary and secondary school, if there is noise making and you come, who do you ask? Is it not the monitor? To give you the list of noise makers, am I right? So we need to ask the regulator, why are the Gencos not performing? Why are the discos not performing? Why is transmission not performing? Why are the payments not coming out? We need to ask them, because if we don't ask them, we continue like this. I am here, anybody, if you are technical enough, go to the National Control Center's website, if you have your phone now, click and you will see exactly how many megawatts are ready to come to your house. But they can come, because there is no avenue to pass it across to you. So let us all work together to see and question the people in charge as to why this power is not coming to Nigerians.